Salford City are currently 8th in League 2 and it probably helps having a bunch of United legends as owners. But today I'm going to take over Salford City for 10 seasons, climb the ladder of English football and try to win as many trophies as humanly possible. And of course the transfer wheel is here to make my life a living hell. But the first thing we need to do is take a look at the team. I honestly expected a lot worse. This team isn't bad for League 2. We also have youngsters Louis Barry and Galbraith on loan to us from Man United as well. One issue we're facing is our current starting goalkeeper's on loan to us, so next season, regardless, we're going to have to get a new keeper. We've also got a 3 million budget to start this takeover, but that means nothing until we've spun the wheel. So starting season 1, is the wheel going to shaft us or is it going to give us something decent? We've got 4 transfers we're allowed to make in season 1. That is literally the perfect start. Now the first 2 things I'm going to try and do is bring in Ethan Galbraith and also Louis Barry on a permanent deal to Salford City. And just like that, our first transfer in this takeover was Louis Barry for 800,000. We're in a good position. We've got just under 2 million left in our budget and Galbraith's market value is just under 950,000 as well. I'm going to test the water, offer 800,000 once again to see what they say. And just like that, Ten Hag's happy and we've got Galbraith in the team as well. And after signing those 2 players, we still have over 700,000 in our budget, meaning I think we can only get away with signing 1 more player. And after looking at the squad, I'm going to go for another right back. He's 62 rated, the lowest rated player in the starting 11, and he's also 30 years old. Now I can't afford to replace Lowe right away, but I can afford to buy someone who can take his place in a couple of seasons time, which is why Josh Williams is absolutely perfect. And I think I've just made history on the channel, the cheapest signing we've ever made, Josh Williams for 465,000. And that wraps up our transfer window. I've also switched the formation to a 4-2-3-1. We've got too many CDMs and cams for not to use this formation. Team looks pretty solid, and if we play our cards right this season, we might even get promotion. While we've had a cracking start to the takeover, we are promoted to League 1 in our very first season. We actually made it to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup as well before getting absolutely annihilated by Spurs. It's clear to see why we've done so well. Our front 4 showed up and then some, especially Callum Hendry. And here are our end of season stats. Callum Hendry is our top goal scorer, with Louis Barry becoming our top assister, and we haven't won any trophies yet. But as I'm recording this video, we're currently on the road to 15,000 subscribers, so do me a favour, if you're enjoying the video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. Now starting season 2, obviously we've got promotion to League 1, and I think with this team, if we play our cards right, we could get back-to-back promotions. But obviously there's one position more than any that needs focusing on, that goalkeeping position. 56 rated, we get annihilated if we stuck with this guy this season. And we have a grand total of 5 million in our budget, but it doesn't mean anything until we've spun the wheel. To start this takeover, we had 4 transfers to work with. What's it going to be this time? Is it going to be 4? Is it going to be 3? Oh my god, we were so close to going back-to-back 4 transfers, but I'll definitely take 3. Now, we know we're getting a new goalkeeper, that's just a fact, but we also need a new centre defensive midfielder to partner up with Watt in League 1. And I think I've just found a long-term player for that midfield role, Tyreek Backington from Sheffield Wednesday. He's 6'3" and his stats look very promising as well. And for only 1.8 million, we officially made Tyreek Backington a Salford City player. I don't think for a second I forgot about the goalkeeper problem. Christian Walton looks like the answer to that issue. And for just over £1 million, we made that deal happen as well. And with only 1 million left in the bank, I think our transfer window's done. I find it crazy sometimes the difference only 2 signings can make to this team. It's so much better now with a new CDM and a better goalkeeper. We do now have Williams, our right back, as our weak link in the team, but he's only 20 years old. I've got a feeling he'll grow quite well this season. But the big question is this team capable of getting back-to-back promotions? It looks like it is, as we get our first trophy by winning League 1. This team is on a different level. Made that trophy number 2 as we've gone on to win the Papa John's trophy by beating Bristol Rovers in the final 4-3. It looks like 3 players in particular carried us this season: Louis Barry, Callum Henry, and also Ethan Galbraith. Actually, a quick shout out to Luke Bolton with 15 assists to his name too. And the overall stats at the end of season 2, Callum Henry is still our top goal scorer, Ethan Galbraith is now our top assister, and we've now got 2 trophies in our cabinet. Now as we enter season 3, we've got one very big problem. Our back 4 is absolutely the worst part of this team, and I can't believe I've let this happen. We only have 7 million as well to spend this season. That's nowhere near enough to fix that back 4. At best, we can only probably get 2 players to make that team a little bit better, but we need to spin the wheel before we know what we can spend first. So far, the wheel's been on our side in the takeover. Oh, okay, we've landed on 2. That's actually kind of perfect, because I've already said that's probably all we could afford to do anyway. Now, there's 4 players in that back line that, in my opinion, just aren't good enough for the championship, but we can only bring in 2 players, so the question is, what positions do I buy for? I'm thinking a new left back because Torre is far older than Williams, and Williams has proven that he can grow over a season. And I also think bringing in the centre-back for Vassell is the way to go as well. Now, this centre-back's really caught my eye. Soumalia Koulibaly, 20 years old. He's 6'3". He's got some pretty decent stats, and he's got less than 12 months left on his contract as well. And for only $2.5 million, we made Soumalia Koulibaly a Salford City player. But the fullback I'm looking at is a little bit more expensive than Koulibaly. Dennis Sirkin, who currently plays for Dortmund, he's 22 years old. He's got a price value of 3.1 million. Now, we've got just under 5 million, so we've got to be really careful not to go over budget. I'm going to offer them 3.5 million just to test the waters. Honestly, I'm the negotiation master. We've got Dennis Sirkin for 3.5 million. I think this is the season where we hit a roadblock. Our front four are definitely going to be doing the heavy lifting this time. Our back four just aren't good enough, and our goalkeeper certainly isn't good enough for this league either. Don't get me wrong, the players are young. They will grow as the season progresses, but in terms of promotion, this team isn't good enough yet. And I was absolutely spot on as we finished 9th at the end of this season, which in fairness, when you think about it, isn't bad at all. But we were only 9 points off the playoffs, so whether we'll get promotion next season is a different story entirely. And this has surprised me. Hendry is our top goal scorer this season. I'd have thought with him being the weak link up top, he'd have done the worst, but he's done the bloody best. And here are the overall stats for the end of season 3. Hendry is still somehow our top goal scorer. Galbraith is still our top assister, and we still only have 2 trophies won so far. We're going to start season 4 a little differently. We're going to spin the wheel and see what it has in store for us. Again, we're going to have 2 transfers to play with this season. Maybe that'll get us promotion. And once again, it's still the defence that's the issue. Now, obviously, we've got 2 transfers, so it's obvious that we need a new centre-back and a right-back. But we've only got 6 million to spend. It's going to be pretty difficult finding 2 decent defenders with that money. I have just hit the jackpot. I have found Daly St. Graven, who's a free agent. I haven't scouted him fully, but his stats do look promising, and I think he's exactly what we need to get promotion. And for that centre-back role, I found 19-year-old Lenny Yoro, who's 72 rated already, and he's well within our price range. Well, I say that, we've got just under 5.5 million to play with, so we've still got to be quite careful. Now, I can't see them wanting to let a guy this caliber go that easy, so I'm going to give them 4.5 million just to see if they go for it. They want 4.65 million. Done deal. As long as I can have him, I don't care. Now, obviously, St. Graven is out of position. I'm going to have to convert into a right wing back, which shouldn't be too much of an issue. But with the necessary improvements made to the squad, the question now remains, are we going to get promoted to the Premier League this season? We were so close to automatic promotion. We finished 3rd at the end of our season in the Championship. West Brom were 5 points clear of a 2nd place, so we weren't necessarily close to automatic promotion, but you get what I mean. We did obviously make the playoffs though with Preston, Burnley and Brentford. And we beat Brentford 2-1 overall in the semi-finals, which means we're facing Preston North End for a chance of promotion. Not only is promotion on the line, our 3rd trophy with Salford City is on the line as well. If we beat Preston North End right now, we've got our 3rd trophy. Henry and Barry successfully get us promotion to the Premier League, as well as our 3rd trophy with Salford. I don't know how Callum Hendry's doing it. Our lowest rated player is performing by a mile the best out of everyone in this team. And the overall stats at the end of season 4, you guessed it, Henry is still the top goal scorer and Galbraith is still our top assister, but now we've got 3 trophies in our trophy cabinet. Now in season 5, which means in 4 seasons, we brought Salford from League 2 all the way to the Premier League, which quite frankly is astounding. However, with us now being in the Premier League, there's so much we need to do to this team to make sure it survives. But we do have our highest budget yet with £31 million. So let's go to that wheel and see how many transfers we're allowed to make. With us having 31 million, I would be heartbroken if we got 0. It looks like we've just managed to escape it. We've got 1 transfer to make. It's not good, but at least it's better than nothing. Now, obviously, we can only spend that money now on 1 position, meaning we've got to figure out which position we need to improve the most in this squad. With us being a newly promoted team, I think our sole focus for this season should be survival, and I don't think our current goalkeeper Walton is up to that task. Now, there's 2 or 3 keepers I could bring in for this role, but there's only one I actually want in this team. Jordan Pickford, England's #1 keeper, who in my opinion has kept Everton in the Premier League for the last 3 seasons. Now we have 30 million to spend and his market value is only 18 million, so this shouldn't be too difficult. My first offer is going to be 20 million because whilst we do have a lot of money, I don't want to overspend at the same time. And that was enough for Leeds United. We have got Pickford in our starting 11. And obviously with us only having 1 transfer, that is the only thing we could do. The question is, could Pickford work his magic once more and keep Salford City in the Premier League? I have massively underestimated how good we were. We finished smack bang mid-table. I thought we'd be in a bloody relegation battle. I seriously don't know how Henry's doing it, man. He's been our top goal scorer every single season without fail. Looking at the squad though, how I thought this team was going to be in a relegation battle, I will never know. And the overall stats at the end of season 5, Henry and Galbraith are both still leading the line for the top goal scorer and assister, and we still still have only 3 trophies in our trophy cabinet. Now last season we pulled off something mental and we finished smack bang mid-table in our first season in the Premier League. I think what's worked to our advantage, our team is exceptionally young, so they're all just going to continue to grow. We have been very lucky so far with this. We're in season 6 now. Oh, you are absolutely joking me. Our luck has officially just run out. We can't make any transfers this season. There's a lot of work that needs to be done with this starting 11 before I'm actually content with it. On the subs bench, there's absolutely no replaceable quality. And we would have had 22 million to spend. Even if we had one transfer, I could have done a lot with that money. We're on the plus side. We've got a pretty young squad. We've got a striker who just doesn't know how to stop scoring. We've got a very good front four. The only real weakness is our centre midfielders. We finished mid-table last year. What can we do this time? Well, this was inevitable, to be fair. We finished 13th at the end of this season. We've dropped 3 places from last season, but to be honest, the wheel has well and truly shafted us. We couldn't make any transfers this time. But to be fair, we did have a very good cup run. We made it to the semis before getting knocked out by bloody Forest. But there's even better news as well. Our 2 centre-backs are now 80 rated, as well as Jordan Pickford going to 86 rated as well. What a bargain he was. And 6 seasons running, Callum Hendry is our top goal scorer, man. 30 years old and he's still banging them in for fun. And the overall stats at the end of season 6, Hendry and Galbraith are still our leading top goal scorer and assist, and we still have only 3 trophies. We're going to spin the wheel to start season 7 in the hopes that we can turn our luck upside down. I think we may have just pulled it off as well. We got 3 transfers to start this season off. Now we only have 35 million to bring in a maximum of 3 players. We're going to have to make sure every penny we spend counts. And honestly, I think if we bring in 2 CDMs, that's half of our problem sorted in this squad. Now I found one midfielder I definitely want in our team. Lauren Ulrich, the German centre midfielder, has got some insane stats and he's only 23 as well. The only issue is his market value is 26 million and we've got 34.5 million to spend. I know I said I'd spend wisely, but honestly, I can't afford to. Our first bid is going to be his actual market value just to gauge where we're at with this. They actually accepted Guardiola's happy with 26 million and we've made him a freaking Salford City player. But it came at a cost. We only have 5 million left and we still have 2 transfers to make. But we're now in season 7 and we're also in the Premier League, so we need to be making the most of these transfers. And as you can see, I really haven't got the squad depth to sell loads of players, but there is one I can sell that will make a lot of money. Since season 1, Louis Barry's been our best player overall, and now he's 92 rated with a market value of 151.5 million. I really don't want to do this, but I literally don't have any other choice. And we do have our first transfer offer for Louis Barry, 199.2 million from AC Milan, but I'm a little bit cheeky. I think we can get a little bit more. Now my assistant manager reckons we can get 240, but I'm going to go for 225 just to play it a little safer. And they've accepted. We have officially got 225 million for Louis Barry. And after the board have taken their cut, we now have 200 million to spend on 2 players. Now obviously we're going to go for a new winger to replace Louis Barry with, but I think we're going to go for another centre midfielder because I did say at the start of this season I wanted to bring in 2 centre midfielders at least. And boys, I have found the perfect replacement for Louis Barry, Emile Smith-Rowe. He plays for Napoli currently, but he's only got 12 months left on his contract. And we got an absolute bargain. We only spent 50 million bringing Emile Smith-Rowe to Salford City. And we still have over 140 million to spend. We are literally swimming in money right now. Now for the midfielder, I've got 3 players I can't really choose between. They're all 88 rated: Ryan Gravenberch, Enzo Fernandez, and Fabio Moretti. Now Gravenberch is the powerhouse. He's 6'3", got 4-star, 4-star, and literally can play anywhere on that pitch. Next up, we have Enzo Fernandez, who's more focused on the defending aspect, but can still get forward as well. Then you have Fabio Moretti, who's got the most well-rounded stats and can literally do everything. 3 insane options for that midfielder role, but I think there's only one answer. That's right, I went for the powerhouse Ryan Gravenberch, and he cost us 109 million. And as you can see, I've switched the formation to a 4-3-3 attacking variation. It just suits the players that we brought in so much better than the previous formation. But with over 150 million spent in our 3 transfers made, I think this team is actually ready for what's to come this time. Well, we've come to the end of another season, and this time we've got our highest finish yet. We are 7th at the end of this Premier League season. The only downside, we were 1 point outside the top 6, man. That is infuriating. And if I'm not wrong, this is the first time that Hendry isn't our top goal scorer. Emile Smith-Rowe with a breakout debut season, 24 goals, 11 assists, and 46 games. What a signing. But if the wheel doesn't give us at least 2 transfers next season, we are in the mud. Sinkgraven and Mallon are both retiring. And the overall stats at the end of season 8, Hendry and Galbraith are still our top goal scorer and assister, and we still have only 3 trophies. We're now into season 8, which means we have 3 more seasons to win as many trophies as humanly possible. And looking at the starting 11, we need a new right back because obviously Sinkgraven retired last year. And I've just realised as well, we've got no backup strikers for Henry, so we definitely need to sort that out as well. But luckily, we've got 52 million to spend this season, so let's just hope that the wheel doesn't screw us over again. With the state that this club's in right now, anything less than 2 and we are officially in the bin. Oh my god, we have got so lucky. We've got 4 transfers to make. We are allowed the maximum amount. Now, 3 of the signings I'm making are free agents. I need more squad depth on the subs bench and the reserve, so gone with right back Luciano Fernandez, striker Jean-Fiet Harp, and also Ismail Yassar. Now, Ismail Yassar's overall is unknown, but he's always been pretty reliable. So now with those 3 signings, we have a far stronger subs bench. Now all we need to do is bring in a new right back in place of recently retired St. Graven. I may have just found our endgame right back, Takahiro Tomiyasu. He's 30 years old, so he's got a little bit of time left in his career. He's 84 rated, he's got some good stats, and fair play to him, he still plays for Arsenal. And for just over 38 million, we got his signature on that dotted line. And with all 4 transfers made, the team is now looking like this, and it is ready for Season 8. We actually recovered really well from that wheel giving us no transfers a couple of seasons ago. This team is insane right now. And we've got an extra chance to gain a trophy this season as we've qualified for the Europa Conference League. It has been so long since we've won the trophy. Hopefully this season we can finally get some silverware. We've once again arrived at the end of the season, and you will never guess what the Premier League table looks like at the top. West Ham United have won the freaking Premier League and they beat us to it by 1 bloody point. Honestly, of all teams to do it, West Ham? Really? But we've got one last chance to win a trophy this season as we play against Real Betis in the Europa Conference League final. There's 2 seriously good teams in front of me, but only one of them can lift that trophy at the end of this game. Who's it going to be? Real Betis or Salford City? We finally got another trophy. That's trophy number 4 in our cabinet. Boys, Ryan Gravenberch is on smoke this season. 32 goals, 15 assists in 56 games. That is absolutely insane. Bad news though, Pickford's gone to 83 rated, meaning next season if we don't get at least 1 transfer from the wheel, we are screwed. And the overall stats at the end of Season 8 are the same as last season. Galbraith and Henry are running away with it, but this time we've got 4 trophies. We're starting Season 9 by spinning the wheel. If we get 1 or 2, I'd actually be happy. 2! That is amazing. We can definitely make that work for Season 9. Like I said last year, we need a new goalkeeper because Pickford is nearing retirement age, but the other position I want to sort out is our left back Sirkin. He's 80 rated granted, but he's our weakest link in that back 4. And we've got 106 million to work with. When you win European competitions, you get European money. Now I think I found a goalkeeper, but I've never heard of this guy before. Alia Capril, he's 28 years old, he's 84 rated, 6'3", he suits the bill. And we sorted our goalkeeper problem out for just 32.5 million. And now that's sorted, we now just need to bring in a left back. Now because of how far into career mode we actually are, no team is willing to give me their players because of how rare good players are at this point. But Club Bruce was stupid enough to put a release clause on their left back. Adrian Truffett is going to cost us 52.4 million, but he's going to be worth every penny. And the 2 transfers that the wheel gave us are all used up. The team looks like this going into Season 9. Now I bet some of you are thinking why I haven't gone for a better striker. Now Henry has been a GOAT from Season 1. I honestly want to keep him until the end of this thing now. And because we finished second last season in the Premier League, we are finally qualified for the Champions League. We're in Group D with the following teams. It's going to be quite interesting to see how we fare for the first time in the Champions League this season. How do we go from finishing second in the Premier League to 7th in the league? I do not understand what's happened to this team, but they have been shit this season. How do we get to the FA Cup final only to lose to freaking Blackburn? The way this season's going, I bet we got knocked out of the group stage of the Champions League. Okay, so we topped Group D. That's at least a decent start. In the round of 16, who do we play against? We beat Napoli 3-2. We progressed to the quarters. That's not too bad. We face off against Celta, and we're in the semi-finals where we face off against Juve. We're in the finals against Bayer Leverkusen, for God's sake. We've actually got a chance to redeem our entire season with only 1 game. All we've got to do is beat Bayer Leverkusen to become the best team in the world, boys. And we've done it! Gravenberch with a brace. We are officially the best team in the world. But we finished 7th in the Premier League and lose to Blackburn Rovers in the final of the FA Cup. But we're still the best team in the world. It's the same people every single season. Emile Smith-Rowe, Hendry, Bolton, Gravenberch, Ulrich, and also Galbraith absolutely carrying this team. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I think I've got to get a new striker next season. Hendry's gone to 79 rated. If we keep him for our final season of this takeover, he will be our weakest link by a mile. And the overall stats at the end of Season 9, Hendry and Galbraith are still our top goal scorer and assister, but now we've got 5 trophies to our collection by winning the Champions League. League. We are now into our 10th and final season of this takeover with Salford City, and the fact that this team's only won 5 trophies is absolutely mad. As I've mentioned, we need a new striker this season in place of Henry, which absolutely breaks my heart. He has been our best player by a mile from start to finish. And I wouldn't mind a new centre-back in place of Koulibaly, but once again, it means nothing without spinning the wheel. So for the final time in this takeover, let's go to the wheel. I've spun this wheel 9 times now. I'm not too fussed what number it actually lands on, but it looks like it's going to bless me on the 10th and final season with 3 transfers. Not only has the wheel blessed us, but the board have as well. 127 million to bring in 3 players for this final season. And with the gigantic task of replacing Henry, I'm going for Japanese striker Takefusa Kubo, 30 years old, 84 rated. I think he'll be more than capable of filling his shoes. And for just 46 million, we made this deal happen. Boys, we still have 77 million to spend on 2 players. This is amazing. And for that centre-back role, I'm going for a player I've never actually heard of before, Mies Hilgers. He's a Dutch centre-back, 6'1", 84 rated, got decent stats as well. And I know for a fact he's better than Koulibaly, so it works for me. And for just 33.1 million, we made him a Salford City player. We got the striker and centre-back role sorted. Now it's just a matter of what to spend the rest of the money on. I don't think any part of our starting 11 actually needs improvement. I think it's the subs bench, and I think we're going to go for a winger in place of Sarr. And I found a winger that quite frankly ticks all the boxes. Patrick Wimmer, he's 30 years old, he's 84 rated, got some insane looking stats, plus he's got less than 12 months on his contract. And we have signed our final player of this takeover for 32.5 million. And those 3 transfers are done. The starting 11 looks absolutely incredible. The subs bench for the first time in 10 seasons looks actually pretty decent. I think we're ready for this season. And we've got an early chance of silverware. We face off against Real Madrid in the Super Cup final. If we win this could be a pretty good indication of where our... Oh my god, we've beaten Madrid 4-3. If we're beating Real Madrid, we can beat bloody anybody. And following the success of our Super Cup win, we are in the Champions League group stage with Olympic Lyon, Celtic and Sporting CP in Group A. Now obviously this is our final season in the takeover, and we've already won 1 trophy, and hopefully we can win many more. So for the final time in this video, let's go to the end of this season and see what we did. We have finally done it, boys. We have won the Premier League in our final attempt of trying that. I believe is trophy number 7. Make that trophy number 8 because we finally freaking won the FA Cup as well. Now we're on to the big one, the Champions League. We made it out of the group, which, let's be honest, we were expecting that at this point. We absolutely destroy Wolfsburg at AC 6-1 in the round of 16. That's a bloody statement. We beat Inter Milan 3-1 in the quarters. We're in the semi-finals. We narrowly made it past Man United, man. 3-2 on aggregate, meaning we are in the final against Juventus. We could get trophy number 9 in our final season. Can the boys pull it off? We've absolutely smashed it, boys. Trophy number 9 in season 10. Almost a trophy a season, that is. Boys, Gravenberch got almost a goal contribution a game. 60 games played, 36 goals and 19 assists. That's amazing for a centre midfielder. And after 10 seasons spent with Salford City, the final team looks like this. What a goddamn team we turned this into. Also an honourable mention, Bolton has been with us since season 1, and he turned out to be one of our most consistent and best players at the end of this takeover. What a baller. And the overall stats at the end of this takeover are as follows. We won 9 trophies, our top goal scorer was Hendry, and our top assister was Galbraith. Comment down below what team you'd like me to do a 10 season takeover with next, and whilst you're at it, click here to watch me take over Wrexham for 10 seasons. You would not believe who we were able to buy in season 8.